memories of my grandmother the way she was. Memory has not been something that runs in our family. So I have a handful. I remember her old house in Bayside. It kind of looked like something out of the Goodfellas. I remember the way she would come over to my mom's house and immediately reorganize everything in the kitchen. Every time, without fail. It would drive my mom crazy. And I think that was part of why she did it. The way she would throw Yiddish words into English, and sometimes I think she might have been just making up words. Her wild emotional swings that were in no way inherited by anyone in this room. The volume of her voice. Someone so small, my God. You didn't even need to call her on the phone. You could just listen to the air. She taught me that profanity was okay in moderation or in excess. But the one thing about Ma, that laugh that she had and the smile was so infectious. And then that smirk, that mischievous smirk, like she was a teenager. And that was always with her. She never lost that. And, she really was I always said she was the matriarch of comedy in our family. And growing up, it was, when you're still figuring things out, and you see your grandmother doing and saying these things that don't quite fit with what you expect grandparents should be saying or doing. And then, of course, my mother's reaction to them always confused me. But one of my earliest memories was she was giving me something that my mom didn't want me to have, candy or soda or bacon, something. And my mom took it away immediately, and of course she had another one and gave it to me. And my mom took that away, and she said to her mom, "Mom, please stop, I don't want him to have this," whatever it was. And so my mom walks away, and she's got another one and gives it to me. And she says, "Mom, would you please let me raise my kids?" And my grandma turns to her and says, "Well, you don't tell me how to raise my grandkids." The thing about Mom was, even as she started to slip away, she always handled everything with humor. And I thought that was really something we could all lean on. And I wouldn't say it made it easier, but it made it less difficult to deal with everything that was going on. And she was always the first one to laugh at herself. And then sometimes she would have an Alzheimer's moment, and then she would kind of play on it to make you think that it was all a joke from the beginning. And it was really sweet and endearing how she would do that. But sometimes she definitely took advantage of the situation. And what better place to take advantage of the situation than Atlantic City? So this must have been 5-6 years ago. We're in Atlantic City, and Sam and I were just old enough to be in the casinos, and so we're at the craps table with Ma, and she's in her element there. And she's rolling the dice, and she is on a hot streak. I mean, everybody loves her. She's been just killing it, and she's having a blast. I mean, one of the happiest memories I have of her ever. And then finally, she craps out, and she reaches down to take her money back off the table. And this is like a big time no-no in the casinos. And so the pit boss, goes after her immediately, and, "Ma'am, you can't do that." And she said, "That's my money!" Starts causing a scene, and I'm like, oh boy. And so the guy, they start to come in on her, like she's going to get kicked out. And I'm like, no, it's my grandma, she's kind of got Alzheimer's. And she starts doing the, "Where am I?" And this is and I'm thinking this is a serious Alzheimer's moment, and that we're going to have to leave. And so finally the guy pries her money away from her, and she just looks over at us with this smirk. This Elaine's smirk that only it's like her and like a 13-year-old kid have this smirk. And I was just like, I could not believe that she's trying to pull this off. She obviously knew she wasn't going to get away with it. But she just could always laugh at herself, which is what made it kind of easy to laugh at her or with her throughout the last few years. One of my favorite moments, she was over at my parents' house a couple years ago, and she was like the hungriest 90-pound woman in the world. She could just eat forever. And she wanted her food immediately. As soon as she was hungry, it needed to be in front of her. So Sam's in the kitchen making her food, and, "Where's my food? I'm hungry, I'm starving. A person's gonna starve like this. What kind of conditions are these?" And on and on and on with the drama. And then she starts asking me, "Should I go out in the street and beg?" I'm like, "We live on a dead-end road in suburbia. Good luck with that." So then her food is in the microwave, and she sees in the kitchen that Sam is pouring some food into the bowl of his dog Marley, and she looks at me and she goes, "The dog is eating!" So, the last time I saw her was this past summer, and I couldn't even write this part down, so you have to forgive me, it takes a while to get through this. She had moved into the home in Cranford, and I had brought my fiancée Julia out to meet her, and we get into the home, and I asked for my mother, and the woman behind the counter kind of gives me this smile, and I'm like, "Oh, I know." And then she doesn't even have to show me to her because we hear her in the kitchen going on at her normal volume. And so we take her back to her room, and we're just sitting and talking with her. And ever since I met Julia, whenever I introduce her to people, everybody tells me how lucky I am, and she's so beautiful. How did you ever find a woman like this? You're so lucky. Of course, Ma turns to Julia and says, "You're a very lucky young lady. My grandson, he's so wonderful and handsome. You take care of him." And of course, Julia fell in love with her grandmother, as so many people have. Even in her toughest times, she still found a way to entertain us. Thanks.
Our cousin Ite Wilk has recently come to live with me in Atlanta for a while, which has seemed sort of almost strangely preordained, that almost the moment that my grandmother is leaving us, this guy who's almost as much of a character as she is and knows her probably better than I do, is coming to stay with me. He sends his best and certainly wishes that he could have been here today with all of us. When we were talking about Ma the last few days, he told me how, although they were first cousins, she was 18 years his senior, so she used to babysit for him, and all his life never let him forget that she literally changed his diapers. He then let me know that not only were he and Ma close, but that his favorite aunt and uncle were her parents, Regina and Julius. To me, he said they were merely names on a piece of paper, but that he had all these glowing memories of them. And he wished that, as he put it, he could do a Vulcan mind meld, which is apparently a Star Trek reference. He is quite a trip, as I said, to impart all those memories of them onto me. Unfortunately, the technology is not quite there yet. And even if it was, what he aimed to achieve wouldn't really have worked. Our memories of our lives and of our loved ones are full of emotions, unique to each individual who experiences them. We can share our memories with others, but to them they're merely stories. The bond that we all share here today is that our experiences with my grandmother were indeed those full of emotions and not merely tales of yore. Instead of regretting the times we didn't or won't get to spend with people, It's far more useful to simply enjoy and be thankful for those times we did get. And I'm certainly quite grateful for all those times spent with my grandmother. One of my most recent memories of Ma was from a few years ago. She was at an assisted living community in Atlanta, and her aide had recently left abruptly. It was going to be a while before we could get another helper in there, so I went and stayed with her at the facility for about 10 days. Each day, as you can imagine, was pretty similar. Wake up, handful of pills, have some breakfast, read the newspaper. Where's your mother live? New Jersey. Oh yeah, right. Still? Lunch, more pills. Who are your brothers? Jonah and Raphael. Yeah, I knew that. Take a short walk, play some cards. You got a girlfriend? That was her favorite. Once I tried lying to her about that one to make her feel good, but she then nailed me with about 15 follow-up questions and completely blew my lie out of the Cook some dinner, another handful of pills, sit back and watch some tube. And it was always the Game Show Network. Lingo, $64,000 pyramid, and of course, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? It was a fitting background to my stay there, because in some sense it was like the whole thing was our own little game show. Every day, questions and answers. But was it the cruelest game show or the coolest? On one hand, it was as if she knew every answer, but could just never get them out before the buzzer. But on the other hand, wasn't it the greatest game show of all? Ma got to be